Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will be talking about Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. After getting traded to Cleveland and being suspended for the first 11 weeks of the NFL season, Watson has come back and has been very rusty. It raises the question, is Watson the same player he was in Houston, or is he cooked? I will be answering that question in today's video. But before I do, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on a video. I upload NFL content every weekday, so if you guys are into that sort of thing, subscribing helps a ton. I'm trying to hit 300 subscribers by the Super Bowl, so hitting the subscribe button will help me out quite a bit. Without further ado, let's get into this. One of the biggest storylines entering the 2022 offseason was the Deshaun Watson situation. Prior to the 2021 season, Watson had requested a trade from the Houston Texans and was looking to find a new team. Watson was also dealing with over 30 civil suits from different massage therapists claiming that he had harassed them. After sitting out the 2021 campaign, Watson was entering court and if cleared would likely be traded to a new team. Watson was eventually cleared of these suits and the Texans could move forward in looking to trade him. Many teams were rumored to be interested in Watson. The Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Dolphins, and Browns were all teams that were thrown into the rumor mill. After a couple of weeks of waiting, Watson was eventually traded to the Cleveland Browns on March 18th. It was a massive trade involving 3 first-round picks headed to Houston, and then, following the trade, Cleveland gave Watson a new, massive contract that is for 5 years and worth $230 million, which is the highest annual salary in NFL history.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!
There's a lot of talk about this in the media. Watson had been cleared criminally of his charges, but they were still going on, and there were questions about his availability in the 2022 season. The NFL Players Association initially suspended Watson for the first 4 games of the season, but after some more investigation and more details came out about the situation, they moved his suspension to the first 11 games. Watson was able to participate in training camp in the offseason and play in preseason. However, once the regular season came along, Watson was not allowed into the building and was not allowed to practice with the team. Watson's first game back after his suspension came in Week 12 against his former team, the Houston Texans. He really struggled in that game, going 12 for 22 for 131 yards and an interception. He's played in 5 games so far this season and has really struggled. He has 872 yards with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He has a 56.7 completion percentage and a 78.1 QBR, and the Browns are 3-2 with Watson as the starter. With the poor numbers Watson has put up, many people are saying that he is washed and is not the same quarterback that Cleveland thought they would be getting, an MVP level player who they paid $230 million to. While I do believe he has been very disappointing, I'm not really sure what we expected from him. Watson wasn't allowed to practice for 11 weeks with his team. One of the most important things in the NFL is chemistry between wide receivers and their quarterback. If Watson can't get reps with any of his receivers, how are they going to be comfortable with the zip on his passes or the way the ball rolls off his hands? It may seem like small things, but it is a very important detail that I think get lost in all the commotion. Watson has been making some pretty horrible mistakes, mistiming his throws, poor decision making. Doesn't seem to be seeing the field as well as he used to, but that might just be a growing pain as he hasn't played in an NFL game since 2020. There are other plays where the Browns have decided to sit him on certain plays. There was a 4th down against the Commanders this past Sunday, and they brought in Jacoby Brissett to help convert it, which is very questionable considering you did pay Deshaun Watson $230 million. Watson is coming off his best game of the season against the Commanders with a 3-touchdown performance. Not the most yards in the world, they did pull out a win and he did throw 3 touchdowns. Another thing that isn't getting enough recognition is the Browns wide receiver group is not very good. Amaricooper has been fantastic this season with 1,100 yards, but outside of him, I don't think they have a true number 2 receiver. Donovan Peoples-Jones has had a solid season with 700 yards, but I see him more as a specialist in the special teams game. He's a great punt returner, great kick returner. I don't think he's your number 2 wide receiver. David Njoku, I think, is a very reliable tight end. He's got 500 yards, but outside of those 3 players, they have absolutely no weapons in that wide receiver room or players that Watson can get the ball to. Watson doesn't have many people to give the ball to, and this team has to get some weapons this offseason. I think that's priority number one. Peoples-Jones is a good wide receiver 3 and deep threat, but they need another possession wide receiver. I think Watson is going to be okay. You give him a full offseason to practice with his guys, and not having so much time away from the team, I think will help build chemistry with his receivers. I also think a new head coach could really help. Kevinstefanski has made some very questionable calls all season long, and I think they could be looking to move in a new direction. I'm not sure which head coach would want to take the Cleveland job. There's always a lot of drama surrounding the Browns organization, surrounding Deshaun Watson, so I'm not sure who would want to take that job, but I do think it will become available, and I think that a new head coach is a must for this team. I predict a big season for Deshaun Watson, and the Browns in general in 2023. I think they're going to add another weapon to this offense and build more chemistry. I think this is a good draft for wide receivers. There's some talent in that second round, whether they go out or somehow able to land a Jalen Hyatt, a Josh Downs, Kayshon Boutte, who just declared for the draft, Rashee Rice, Zay Flowers. There are players in this draft that could be immediate impacts for the Cleveland Browns and could really help Deshaun Watson as a number 2 to Amari Cooper. I think there's a lot of different ways they could even go. They could look to trade Kareem Hunt, add some extra draft capital. I'm not sure what his value is going to be. They obviously have Nick Chubb, who is one of the most underrated running backs in all of football. I could see a move happening there. The Browns aren't a perfect team by any means. Wide receiver isn't their only need, but it's a big need. And if you want Deshaun Watson to thrive in this offense, I think that's got to be key. You have to add more weapons. This was a team just a couple of years ago that had one of the deepest wide receiver rooms and one of the best 1-2 combos in all of football with Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. Now, there are a lot of question marks surrounding this wide receiver group, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to find a fit in this offense. There's some decent free agents. I know Juju's a free agent, but this is a pretty weak wide receiver free agent class. They don't have a lot of draft capital to make a trade, so it's got to be through the draft. And I'm going to be very intrigued to see what Cleveland decides to do to try and help Deshaun Watson out next season. I don't think he's washed. I think he's going to be in the running for comeback player of the year next year. I think he's going to have a big year. I'm going to say over 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns next season for Deshaun Watson. Is that a little bold? Yeah, but I'm fine with being bold. I think he's going to come out, have a really solid season. But guys, let me know down in the comment section below, what do you think of Deshaun Watson's play so far? And do you think he can get back to his old form? Would love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. But that's going to do it for me in this one. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.